Hey everyone, welcome back to Brad and Brad. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about if-else conditionals in Python. In the previous video, we learned about lists, how they work, how do they store data in themselves, and how do we perform operations on list. But here's the thing, the programs we've written until now are pretty straightforward, meaning they just run line by line, just declare some variables, perform some operations on it, and then they just print out the result. But if you think about it, our code hasn't really made any decisions yet. I mean, it is just totally static, right? It is not dynamic. The things we declare over there execute. But what if some certain condition or some certain situation comes up? The program doesn't know how to react yet. It just follows instructions like a robot. And that's exactly why we need conditionals to give the ability to make decisions to our program, taking decisions programmatically right through the code. So in Python, we use conditional statements for that. They are very simple. They're just like, hey, if this happens, then do this. Otherwise, do that. If this happens, then do this. Otherwise, do that. This functionality, this if, then, or if else kind of functionality we're giving to the code, this is what makes it dynamic. So in this video, we'll understand how to use these statements. These conditional statements give you the ability to make decisions through the program. All right, let's make this practical with a simple example. Imagine you're playing a game. The game mechanism at the end it offers you stars, right? 3 stars is a win. So that stars are calculated based on your score. So let's say you've got a score above 40, that gives you a 1 star. And if you're above 90, that gives you 2 star. And if you are equal to 100, that gives you 3 star. So what I want you to understand in this example that I've given is that understand the language. If the score is equals to 100, then you give a 3 star. If the score is greater than 90, then you give a 2 star. If the score is less than 40, then you give no star. If it's between 40 and 90, then you'll give 2 stars, right? I want you to look at the terminologies. The if, else, and the equals, greater than, less than. All of these, I guess we've heard them before, right? Equals, less than, greater than, all of these are the operators. And the if, then do this, else, then do this, or if, then do this. All of these if and else's come into the conditional statements. So exact same thing we can replicate in Python. Okay, I guess a lot of theory part has been covered, so let's get into the example part of it. All right. So first of all, I want you guys to understand the syntax of the if condition statements. First of all, I'll be explaining about the if statements. So the syntax of if statements, the way you write them is if, and here a condition comes into play. If condition, you keep a colon, and then giving a tab space, this is a tab space, you write the code here. Right? Okay, guys. So this is the syntax of the if statement. Okay. So now that we know the basic syntax of if statement in Python, the condition is basically something that evaluates to either true or false. If the condition is true, then the code inside the if block will execute. This is called the code inside the if block. You have to write it with an indentation. An indentation is mandatory. It's a tab space. Basically, this accounts into the syntax of the Python. Now, what can you actually put inside that condition? A few things. You can write comparisons in that if condition, or else you can write equality checks. And also you can combine multiple expressions using these logical operators, which combine all of them using operators like and, not, or, nor, and or, all of these things. So in short, whatever you've put in the condition, at the end, it should evaluate to either true or false. And if it is true, then the code that is written in the if block will execute. And if it's false, then it will not. So this if condition will just determine whether to run this block of code or not. Let's take an example. So let's say there is score parameter and your score is 90. Okay. And I'll write a condition here. If score is greater than 75, then print that you are in the top. Let's see whether this is executed or not. As the condition evaluates to true, the score is obviously greater than 75 because it's 90. This will be executed. Okay, let's change this. Let's make the score 50. Let's see whether the statement executes or not. So this time the program ran, but it didn't print anything because this condition failed here. So this condition, score is greater than 75. 50 is greater than 75. That's obviously a false. So this if got a false, which in turn didn't execute this block of code at all. So that's how the if statement works in Python. And the next conditional statement we have is the else statement. Okay. So what does this else? Read it like regular English. If this happens, then do this. Else, do that. So whatever code which is to be executed, if the condition fails, that part of the code is provided in the else block. Let's see with an example. If score is greater than 75, then I think I'll just take this line. Okay. Oh, we got an extra indentation right here. Now, how do we write the else block? There's a syntax for it. That should align with your if. So else, then print that. Whatever the code we want to execute, whether the condition fails, that will be placed in this block. I want to say you are not in the top. Okay, let's just comment this so that it doesn't execute. Okay, let's run this. It printed you're not on the top. Why? Because the score is 50 and we've wrote a condition that if your score is greater than 75, then do this. If not that, then do this. As this expression evaluated to false, this part of the code executed. So the if condition failed here. That's why the else part of it executed. So that's how the if else work together. And the next thing we need to learn about is the elif statement. So we have seen how if works. I mean, it checks a condition, and if the condition is true, then it will execute a block of code. And in the same way, we've also covered else, which will act like a fallback, which is executed when the condition is false, right? So there is this in-between thing called elif. Elif simply means else if, and it is used when you want to check more than one condition. If you use only if and else, then you're stuck with only two options. But what if you want more options? More conditions you want to include in your code, then you'll use these elif statements. Let's understand these statements with an example. So imagine the scenario where you're ranking a player based on his score. So just like before, we'll have this score variable. So have a look at this code. We have a score that is 72. Now we wrote a bunch of if, elif, else conditions there. Let's see what they mean. If the score equals 100, then you'll print you got 3 stars. Elif, this is the syntax. The syntax of elif comes in this way. After the elif, you place one more condition. If the score is 100, then print that you got 3 stars. So this part of the block executes. Now, elif, this is another condition. So just like how you placed a condition here, you can also place a condition in the elif block. Okay, you can have as many elif blocks as you want. It's based on conditions. So what they do is they don't limit your possibilities. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 4 possibilities here. So let's see the code. Elif, score is greater than 70, then you print you got 2 stars. Elif, score is greater than 40, you print 1 star. If not all of these things, then you print you got no stars. So let's understand how the program executes right here. So the score is 72, right? The program comes here. It checks whether the score is equal to 100 or not. It's not equal to. So this block of the code won't be executed. The control will move to the next condition. It's not an else. This is an elif, meaning there is an if condition here also. It will check this condition. Let's see if the score is greater than 70. Obviously, the score is greater than 70, so this will print the 2 stars wala statement, and after that, it won't execute any of these things. The control directly comes here. So only the code block of the corresponded condition, I mean this is the condition, right? And this is the code block that is to be executed if the condition is true. So in this if, elif, else chain, only this block of the code is executed as this condition is passed. None of the blocks below or above it would be executed. That is the magic of conditional statements. This code right here is static, is what you feel, right? Let's make it dynamic. This could be anything. This could be a user input. This could be random value also. Let's once execute this program. Okay, it printed you got 2 stars. What if this score is 45? I'll try it again. So it said you got 1 star. What if, let's say, the score is only 1? Let's see. It told, you got no stars, better luck next time. So now the program is not static anymore. It's changing its behavior based on the conditions that you've wrote. This is what the conditional statements provide to the program. So that's all about if, elif, and else in Python. Remember that only one block of the code executes depending on its condition. And once that's done, the control moves to the end of the program. Now it's your turn to practice. Open up your Python editor and try writing some conditions on your own. And here are some examples you can try out if you want. So one example is that write a program that checks if a given number is negative or positive or zero. And another classic example is that create a program that asks you for your age and prints whether you are adult or you're a kid or a senior citizen. Or else you can refer to this program which is influenced based on Clash of Clans. If your score is 100, then you get 3 stars, and if it's above 70 and you get Town Hall, then it's 2 stars, and if you're above 40, then it's a 1 star. So that's all you got to learn about if, elif, and else statements in Python. Try out some examples on your own, try writing your own conditions, try writing sample programs. That way you can grip your understanding on this concept. And as always, if you feel that this video helped you, then make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button. And I'll be covering some other data structures or even some other concepts in Python like loops in the next video. See you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and also check out the playlist of the Python Beginner series.